Let's get back to this breaking news that we're following this morning. Nikki Haley is expected to suspend her campaign at 10 o'clock Eastern time from Charleston, South Carolina this morning. I want to bring in Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief of The Hill. He joins me now, I believe, over the phone. Bob, it's good to have you. You know, I keep prefacing this with, this was expected, right? But, I mean, how big of a deal is this, and what is it? Does this cement the general election now?
Yeah, Markie, it basically does, unless, of course, Nikki Haley makes a decision about a third-party bid, which she has said she's not interested in, but sometimes politicians change their mind. But overall, this was expected. It was a Super Tuesday for Donald Trump, no doubt about it, and Haley had a rough night, and this was expected. So she had, I think, a very effective campaign, but defeating the former president is a tall task, and it also shows that Trump has gripped the party. A lot of people counted him out again and again and again, and basically he's going to be the nominee.
And when you say he's going to be the nominee, of course, all of our brains go to, okay, Veep stakes. Who is going to be on that ticket with him? Give us the odds, Bob. I mean, does she join the ticket with Trump if he were to, you know, extend the olive branch and then extend the invite that says he wants her as his running mate? Give us the odds.
I think the odds are very remote. Other people think that Haley could join the ticket. I don't see it. I think it would be a very strong ticket. But knowing how I've interviewed Trump a number of times. I know how he thinks, and I think Trump thinks he can win this all by himself. He's winning the polls right now. So I don't think he's going to pick Haley. I think there's a good chance he does pick a woman, whether that's Governor Kristi Noem, who also served in the House. It could be Elise Stefanik, who is in the House right now. And there are some others. Tim Scott has been mentioned. But I do think he's going to lean, I think, because of suburban voters, which he needs to win. He needs to win independents. I think he would be wise to pick a woman.
What do you make of her future? I mean, surely this is not the last time we see Nikki Haley. Do you think we see her make another run in 2028?
I think so, if she does not run as a third party. The No Labels group wants her to run. Former Senator Joe Lieberman, who's a leader in that group, wants her to run. But she would have to leave the party. Now, I don't think her future as far as nominations or 2028 or even 2032 that bright, because Trump has that grip on the party. And unless these two really get along and make up, which it got really nasty down the stretch of the election, I don't think that I think she's a contender, but she's not a main contender. I think the next person who's going to be in line is going to be who Trump picks as VP. That's why it's so important. Even though the Veep stakes are, Markie, overrated, this is the next leader of the Republican Party, I think, regardless. So that's going to be such a huge pick for a number of reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I was talking with your colleague, Julia Manchester, just a little bit ago. Haley had such strength with suburban women, independents, you know, both key demographics there, and often why she led Trump significantly in hypothetical matchups with President Biden. So how does this change, you know, tactics over the next 8 months for both of these front runners to really court who was going to show up for her in November?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a long general election, that's for sure. This was supposed to be more of a contested battle. Obviously, Ron DeSantis was an early favorite, but Trump is very difficult to beat. So it really becomes the messaging war has begun on both sides, on the Biden side and the Trump side. I think, obviously, President Biden's going to be talking about abortion, trying to talk up the economy, but on the economy, Trump has the advantage poll-wise. He also has a big advantage on the number one issue right now, according to pollsters, is immigration. And that's why we're seeing Biden trying to move to the center there, because that's a vulnerability for the president right now.
Yeah, that new Gallup poll was kind of fascinating, right? I mean, for the past year, we've been talking about how economy has led the pack when it comes to voter concerns. It's now third behind immigration and then just overall government concerns. We'll be watching closely at 10 o'clock, as I know will you. Bob Cusack, thank you so much, as always. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.